Coffee.
Well, if no one's gonna drink this, maybe I'll just... Ugh, that's terrible. That's...
I don't know why that tickles me so much. Oh, what the fuck is with the layout? There we go. We lost Anima again due to internet. And hopefully she'll be back. We'll be talking about a great military film, Crimson Tide. Wow. This is really a film that I think really set Denzel Washington up to be a star. A film pitting him against really one of the greatest actors of his time, Gene Hackman. And Gene Hackman was on a roll for military roles because he had done a film just before this in the late 80s called The Package with Tommy Lee Jones. And then he did this film. And then after this one, he did the film we've already talked about previously with Owen Wilson, Behind Enemy Lines. I'm so annoyed with my doctor's office. I'm sure you can hear the humming that's going on over here. Mm. They decide to call right when we go live. And then I can't talk to them. I'll call them back and I'll never hear back from them as to why they called me. So it just annoys me that they do that right when I'm doing a show. So great timing.
Scribe Lights. I was going to say, Scribe Lights suggested we do Das Boot.
It's a great film. I would like to. I don't want to do the TV show. Never was interested in watching it because the film is a masterpiece. I think it's weird when they do that, take a masterpiece and then make a show. And it's like, you're going to really try to compete with a masterpiece. Make a show version of a masterpiece. Well done. Well thought out.
Then we can have Anima correct your German.
She does that anyway. I'm going to do that, and it's just fun. It's one of my many ways of annoying her. Christian Lorm is here. Monkey Jeebus, Dragon Ruse, Alex Moore, Scribe Light. Is Penny here? Yeah, there she is. There's Penny. Penny is here. Good morning, everybody. I'm glad everybody's here.
Penny is always here.
Yes, it's always nice to see you guys in the chat. I'm running on about 2.5 hours sleep, and I think I feel I'm pretty good, for being a Monday. And I got to tell you, deleted scenes kept me up last night, or I should say, stayed with me while I was dealing with my arm. And it was nice hanging out with him because he doesn't hang out with us on TGIF anymore since his work schedule changed. And so we got to hang out for a little bit last night. And finally, exhaustion kicked in. I'm like, I'm going to go to bed. F you guys, I'm going to go to sleep. And so I went to bed and got my whopping big 2.5 hours sleep. And I feel relatively pretty energized, but I'll probably take a nap this afternoon to recover from it. But such is the life of an artist. So I'm always working. You can see I'm on the wrong thing here. Hold on, guys. There we go. All right. So how was everybody's weekend, guys?
Oh, it's pretty good. I had a barbecue with the family on Saturday.
Yeah, we had a
Saturday
barbecue
evening.
yesterday. The steaks I got a couple weeks back finally got put out to thaw. We had brats and we had the steaks. It was yummy. And chicken too. What'd you guys have total?
We had burgers and beans and fries. Nothing too. But I had my half a burger and I had a few fries and some beans and deviled eggs because
Oh man,
they have like 10 billion eggs because their chickens they've got like 6 or 7 chickens just overproduce eggs.
Oh, these are fresh eggs.
Oh yeah, these are fresh laid.
I don't know if you remember from like a year ago when we had all the chickens. Like, I would get finicky, and they would put these fresh eggs in the fridge without cleaning them. And they're like, Gerry, there are plenty of eggs in the fridge. Why do you keep buying store-bought? I said, because they don't have chicken vagina on it.
Oh my God.
And they thought I was kidding.
Actually,
I'm like,
if you don't,
I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that.
if you don't wash the eggs, you don't need to put them in the fridge. They will keep good forever outside.
Yes.
You only have to refrigerate them because they're
if you leave poop on it, because they don't have vaginas, chickens don't. It's also their butthole, and it's just like and they're like, well, they don't really have a vagina. This was like a selling point to them. They thought they were selling it to me, and I'm like, you just made it even worse. I'm like, no, I don't want to touch those eggs.
Yeah.
You're like, I thought you grew up on a farm. I said, I did, and I didn't like it. I hate chickens.
Big pussy. We have a super chat.
Oh, fuck you, Martine. Fuck you. Christian Delorme with his Canadian $10. Thank you, sir. Because Anima is here, can we reopen the military drummer guitarist debate? Was there a debate? I don't remember this one. Did I miss something?
I don't remember this one.
I don't remember either. What are you talking about, Christian?
Hold on. Christian is drunk a lot when he's like throwing these $10 super chats. So maybe he's remembering something differently than how it actually happened. He's got his PBR, man. He loves his.
That's the next super chat. I guess he is drinking.
Yeah. And by the way, I see Bush is here too. Good morning, buddy. Christian Delorme also with another $5.
Hi, Bush.
Hold on, what is this? Stirring up poop is always fun. No, it's not. That's gross. It took you $5 Canadian for me to say that to you. But thank you just the same. Let me find a video. Oh, here we go.
Oh, stop that. It's silly.
Go. That's one. And then this one I haven't played in a while. Boom.
You pompous, stuck-up, snot-nosed, English, giant, twerp, scumbag, fuckface, dickhead, asshole.
Yes. I love that scene. And I love it when he goes, John Cleese's response is, interesting. You're a true vulgarian. So we talked about Owen Wilson this morning. I'll throw that one in there just for shits and giggles.
Wow.
There we go. So let's go ahead and get this up on screen, and we can start the process. This is, it's really one of the best films from the 90s. It is also a great military film. Jerry Bruckheimer, absolutely involved with this film. He has a love for military stuff. Him and what's his name? They partner up a lot. The big producer, and it's another film just like Tears of the Sun. Opens the same way on an aircraft carrier in the middle of the Mediterranean, and this time though, again dealing with that region of the world because it's always been a hotbed. It's hot. How is it over there? Hot. It's damn hot. Hey, Jay, what's up, buddy? Having a good morning, I hope. It's Monday. And I like the way they do this because basically with a series of news reports, you get the entire backstory of what's going on with this film. And the entire film, by the way, if people aren't aware of this, is based off of an actual submarine incident that took place during the missiles of October. It was a Russian submarine. No, it was also depicted in the film K-19 with Liam Neeson and I forget, was that Gary Oldman in that film? It's been a while. Widowmaker.
Yeah.
And
wasn't it with Harrison Ford?
Was it Harrison Ford? That's who it is, Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hunter Killer is the film with Oldman with the Scottish actor from 300, Gerard Butler. I enjoy that film. It's another one I'd like to add to the sub series because I like submarine movies.
I do too.
And but this incident is based off of an actual incident that took place, and they refer to the Russian XO on the submarine as the man who prevented World War III, because he refused to because they'd already authenticated the order, but because there was a cutoff in communication at one point, they didn't know what the next message was, so he refused to concur with the order to launch. And thanks to his inaction and fight for control of the submarine, World War III didn't happen because they were going to launch. And people don't know just how bad it got during that October. And it was hairy, scary stuff, man.
Oh, we've gotten
that's
close.
The reason why it's now the president who has to authorize the launch and not a captain on a submarine anymore.
Well, at the time, they had always said this, that the three most powerful men in the world, and it's mentioned at the beginning of this film, is the president of Russia, the premier of Russia, the president of the United States, and the captain of a nuclear submarine with missiles. And that has changed how they do things, because they still have to go through the authentication process, and it requires two people. Always two people to launch.
It's safer now with all the nukes in the hands of Sleepy Joe.
By the way, there's Vigo.
Oh, yeah.
Vigo plays the part of Denzel's best friend, and this is Denzel's son's birthday party. And
Vigo always looks like crazy. He has crazy eyes.
He's an intense actor. His first major movie, a lot of people don't know this. Do you guys know? Anybody take a guess? Martin? John?
No.
Harrison Ford's Witness.
Ah.
He was a member of the Amish community. And this is when he's reporting. They report to the attack. There is some... I caught some major military problems with this. One, a submarine like this, they would not be off the vessel during the launch in formation. They would be on deck or inside. This is some serious shit going on here. I like that they're showing the distinct differences in command training between this old school captain, who's, came up through the ranks, and this young man who graduated Annapolis and all that shit. And he's, a college graduate. So it's a different kind of command and style. Mm-hmm. And I defend Gene Hackman's character all the way until the broken off communication, where they get a partial message and then it's interrupted.
He's too trigger at that point.
And once you do that, and this is something Shanatsky even I talked about, it's like, you're not going to launch those until you get confirmed communication with them again. Once you confirm that there is no order to not fire, you can't fire. And that's what the XO in the true story, as well as Denzel's Washington character, keeps saying. He says, we can't do that. And they eventually do go to trial. And it happens at the end of the film. And they talk about it. And basically the way command looked at this, the Navy, was that they're both right, they're both wrong. But in the end, the Navy stood by the XO's decision to take command and relieve the captain. command.
Well, Captain stood by the XO too in the end.
Yeah.
He never said he made a mistake, but he's kind of admitted that the XO was right.
Well, if you notice, there are two separate occasions, but near the end of the film, in which the captain
George Zunza, by the way, remember that guy's face.
He realizes that he has crossed some line that you can see in his face.
Well, when he yells at him in front of everybody, because absolutely he never loses, the XO never loses his sense of command and chain of command, and he's speaking very formally to the captain, and then the captain loses his shit on the XO, and that is when he lost. I always mention this.
The chief of the boat.
Yeah, there's it's a thing that occurs in. They worry about it in combat. Lost initiative. He loses initiative, and that's why Zunza has to side with the XO because of what he did when he yelled at him. Why don't you shut the fuck up? And he says,
the XO goes by the book.
Yeah, the XO is absolutely following the chain of command. How he's
the captain is the one committing mutiny.
Absolutely, and it's so funny because he committed mutiny the minute he said, "If you do not concur, I will have you removed and find somebody else to concur," and that breaks the chain of command. You can't do that.
Absolutely,
that is what makes the chief of the boat back the XO.
Back the XO, absolutely.
That event.
Oh, John Ostains is here. Good morning, my friend. Huh? And I think I said good morning to Dragoners, didn't I? If not, good morning, Dragon. It's good to see you. Oh, Carbon Copy was with George Siegel. That was his first movie. That was Denzel's first movie. Oh, it's great. I laughed my ass off that. I remember when it was one of the first videos I ever rented was that movie. Because that came out right after we bought our VCR. We had a top-loading dinosaur one. Hackman punches him in the damn face, too. Yes, he does. Because this becomes a battle. This becomes a battle for control of this ship. And both people are right for why they're doing what they're doing. But it's scary. Civil war on a submarine. Now, there are several things. Zunza would never be allowed back on that ship with his weight problem. It would never happen. The black, I think he's a cook or whatever he was, would not be allowed.
Well, anybody there were a couple of people that were too
tall guys
to
are not allowed on U-boats in the Navy. My son tried to consider going into the Navy, really got close, and I was so hoping he would. He wanted to be on a submarine, and I'm like, you're the perfect height and weight, and I guarantee you can get a promise from the recruiter that you can actually leave if you don't get the MOS that you want on the sub.
You have super stickers.
Oh, Darius with the cup and pear. Thank you, sir. Would you like to play a real quick? Don't pause it. Just go ahead and hit a thank you video.
Okay.
I'd appreciate it, man.
You got any good stories I could tell him about how cool Nam is?
There's lots of things you expect in war. Carnage, the sleepless nights. But what they don't prepare you for is the incessant use of Fortunate Son.
And I had my own personal experience with that, where I've told you guys about that when right when things were building up in Desert Shield, and it was looking like we're getting ready to go to war, and we had a guy in my squad that suddenly freaked out, and he made a phone call home. Next thing you know, his MOS was changed. And he got pulled out by his dad. His dad pulled some political strings. And I was not nice to him when it happened. I said, so you're better than us. You're better than us. Well, most people were didn't care. I was the one that gave a shit because that sends a signal that we're less important than him. It's my problem with people. I mean, even what's his name here is too stocky for a submarine. The mobster actor right there.
James Gandolfini.
Yeah. It's funny. I say Gandolfini, and you said it's James Gandolfini.
Here's
at the same
here's
time.
the chief cook.
Yeah, he's too big. He would never be allowed in
300
there.
pounds.
Would not be
Yeah,
allowed.
and he dies of a heart attack because of that. Right? Is he the one?
This scene, the way
Yeah,
this
he's the
happens,
one.
see what's going on right here? That would not happen. It would absolutely not happen. This shit would not happen. This would be a top secret situation. Nobody would be. Families would just be told, "I have to report," and they would have been told they're shipping out. That's how that happens.
And we have this other guy that is.
He's the other one I'm talking about. He's too tall and
stupid.
he's too stocky. They would not be allowed on submarines. You have to be under 6 foot, and you have to be under 100. I think the top weight is 185 or some shit like that. 200 maximum. I like this. Run silent, run deep. They're actually both right and both
I really
wrong.
enjoyed the nerd talk.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you get it about Silver Surfer later too. I like that tossing
But
in.
most
Everybody
of them are
knows.
nerds, and I think that's
Everybody
fantastic.
knows Jack
That
Kirby
makes it
Silver.
fun.
Everybody knows Jack Kirby Silver Surfer is the only. Silver
Yeah.
Surfer. I'm like, yeah, buddy.
Yep.
So this is one scene that was against reality. It wouldn't happen this way. The fire in the galley is also wrong, and I'll explain that when we get to it, because I explained it to Anima when we were watching it that that's not how that would happen. First thing, it's just like on a ship when you're taking on water. What's one of the first things you're told to do? Close compartment. And if there are no people in that compartment, you can actually turn off the air and choke a fire that way. But they have halogen and other types of systems built into the submarines to prevent fires from happening. And they'll choke a fire that way. But the fire, when it happens the way it happens, it doesn't happen that way. And you'll see it just spreads in this thing, and everybody's running like chickens with their heads cut off, and that's just not what happens. Not to mention, you have fire extinguishers at every entryway on a sub. And
you
not
see
to
them
mention
use
other
them.
places in the galley.
Fire's just spreading too fast.
Yeah, well, they should have used them initially. The minute the fire is seen, fire extinguisher would be grabbed. They'd be pulling a switch for anti-fire system over top of them. And then if necessary, they would close off the galley and choke it. They would choke the fire. So they have like 3 major options.
The other issue that I'm having is
very quickly.
How are they allowed to smoke on a boat like that?
Well, they used to allow smoking, but you couldn't smoke everywhere because it's not oxygen. It's air. They have an air filtration system, built-in scrubbers, just like out in space. Yeah, Gandolfini's the shit. What's this? For those that do not know, Annapolis is where U.S. Naval. Yeah, I explained that before you got here. That he's a graduate of Annapolis. Midshipmen go through college before getting commissioned as officers. Absolutely, of either Marine second lieutenants or ensigns. Yep. John Ostains. I don't know why, but the Kirby Silver Surfer versus Mobius Silver Surfer scene from this movie always sticks in my mind. Example of good de-escalation techniques. Yep. Great way of de-escalating.
De-escalating what? The conflict has ended at that point.
Yeah, the fight was over, but he got him to calm down, is what he means. It's a great way of calming the guy down and taking his mind off of the negativity by going, yeah, everybody knows Jack Kirby's the best Silver Surfer. My friend was a machinist mate on the Dallas before decom. They didn't have flame burners in the galley. That's right.
Yeah.
It was all electric. It's really weird. That was one of the other things I thought. It's like, I don't think they have gas burners on subs because that's another danger. Everything would be cooked by electric heat.
Exactly. It's a nuclear sub. It has electricity forever.
They just put it in the nuclear reactor. Hey, turkey's delicious. Why do I feel so sick?
The beer dark
by the way,
glows in
the
the dark.
submarine that we see here the submarine submerging a little later, that's the real Alabama. And the director just he got tipped off by an insider when the Alabama was leaving port. So he just had a camera team in a helicopter and a camera team on a ship and was filming without permission. But then it was public, so there was nothing the crew could do. So the captain just decided to go down prematurely, which was exactly what the director was hoping to get, the submarine submerging. I think that's funny.
Yeah, they don't have glass on ships for obvious reasons. The movie takes a lot of liberties with certain things in order to push the drama of the story forward. And that's why it's there. The fire, all that shit.
No, Bush next week is Red October, but yes,
yeah,
we must
Hunt
do
for Red October
Down
is
Periscope.
that is my birthday gift to Anima. It got delayed because of her move. So, but yeah, Hunt for Red October is next week.
And then Down Periscope.
And by the way, happy birthday to Anima.
Hey,
birthday Anima again.
She turned this many last week. Never give a woman's birthday
Thank
or
you.
age. I love her. All I know is I robbed the cradle with her.
Oh, you've dated me before on the stream, Gerry.
Did I? I'm so sorry.
F you. You've dated me. People know. Yeah, you did.
All I'm going to say is she's close to the same age as my eldest boy. Close. Just like in Tora is on the list too.
Again.
Right there. Tora is on the list of films. I have a subfolder. I've showed it to Anima for the films I want to do on Monday. Down Periscope or Up Periscope, whatever that movie is called. I don't want to do it, but I'll do it because you guys have requested it.
Thank you.
I'm
Yes.
not a fan of that movie. I don't own a copy of it. I like if it's a submarine movie. I like the Cary Grant one where the funniest ship in the army or whatever it was called. I like little movies that they did back then, and I'm a big fan of the classic films, Run Silent, Run Deep, and the other one with Robert Mitchum that they talked about in this movie. I got to tell you, I've always loved, when it comes to uniforms, I love the dress uniform of the Marine Corps' top. Second favorite, naval uniforms are awesome. I like the way that.
Hey, Glenn Fleming is back.
Hey, Glenn, what's up? We don't have enough limeys in the chat, so we got Glenn. By the way, you're going to see a very young Steve Zahn in this movie.
Yes.
He's I can't remember what his rank is, but he's one of the grunts on the ship. Is it really free? Well, I'll get it that way, I guess. That's how beloved it is. It's free.
Well, I love it.
I really dislike McHale's Navy movie with Tom Arnold. Bruce is in it.
Austin is
U-571 is good.
Right.
What's that? Enemy Below. Yes.
Yeah.
Those are on the list to watch. Enemy Below and Run Silent, Run Deep are on my list to watch. There's another military film that's also an anti-nuclear war film called On the Beach that's on my list.
Yes.
And I do have a copy of that. I have a really high quality copy of that. Fred
The
Astaire.
original, not the remake.
Yeah, the remake, I don't like that.
Yeah.
And I felt like Last Ship was inspired by that movie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And very big fan of that movie. You had Gregory Peck. Just what a cast. Fred Astaire. And it's basically, I don't want to describe the ending. We'll talk about it when we talk about it on the show.
Hello, Wade. And Wade has a bridge.
Yes, we do.
It's
you want to
not
play him a
first
video?
breach too.
Oh, yeah.
We've had one before.
Play 2 videos in. By the way, this is the second passive aggressive conflict between these two characters. And I was annoyed with Denzel's character because he should know better than to do this. As a graduate of Annapolis, he should have better military bearing than to keep getting caught doing this with his commanding officer. But it's there to drive the story forward, and I forgive it because it's absolutely doing the right thing you do in a script.
Well, here we go. let me pause this because this is a very beautiful conversation they have. So, the first one.
Everlight, protect Grog and the rest of our friends, wherever they are.
And the second one for a more military.
Here's your potential LZs. Marines at the embassy advise we can gain entrance through the back way.
Back door. Marines in the back door. There you go. Yeah, McHale's Navy was bad. And I don't... Tom Arnold's hair weave in that is so bad. I remember sitting there in the theater and you could see the fabric in his hair weave. I'm like, no, nobody caught that. You just don't get a better hair weave than Shatner's on Star Trek, the TV series, the original.
Wow. Read this.
I doubt it wasn't real.
I've been busy and continue to be so. Yes, I know. I've been following you. So I just checked in. Got a couple of books coming out, starting with Jack Kirby book in all major store worldwide in a couple of weeks. Absolutely come on the show and promote the hell out of it, buddy.
Congratulations.
Would love to get you back. Oh, man, Glenn Fleming's awesome. He did this great documentary and got to interview Jack Kirby, hang out with him for a day. It was awesome. Bush, the original McHale's Navy in the 60s. That was good. It was late 50s, early 60s. Good show. Yeah. Tim Conway. Another one is, what's his name is in that? The Captain Stubing from Love Boat was in it. The original series. But Tim Conway stole the show as Ensign Pulver, right? No, not Pulver.
Yeah.
It was, no, Pulver is from Mr. Roberts. What is his name? Ensign. Oh, man, I'm having a brain fart. I can't remember Tim Conway's character's name.
That's Ernest Borgnine.
Welcome to my life.
Ernest Borgnine. Yeah, the true enemy can't be destroyed. This is, you're getting to know the characters, and you're already seeing where the problem's going to come from of how they approach things. And it doesn't take long before you see clearly the conflict between these two. He had a previous XO that I can't remember. Why was he gone?
Appendicitis.
Here we go.
The last
Here's
one,
the fire.
Yeah.
This would not happen this way on a galley. The first thing you go for is your fire extinguishers. These guys are so well trained on ships. You wouldn't have gas to begin with. This fire wouldn't spread this way. That is a grease fire right there. It's either straight up grease or it's fat, and you don't get that kind of food on the galleys. That a fire like that would happen. But it's there for the story because you have to have the heart attack, and the conflict begins. There he is. He's having a heart attack right now, and because he's overweight. See the fire extinguisher right there. Every entrance, especially near a galley, any place that's got anything that can catch fire.
Oh, they're using the extinguisher, but it's the CO2 that makes the trick here.
Which is how they would do it. They would close the galley off,
important for the
evacuate the galley,
conflict.
Seal the doors, and they would just choke the fire immediately. It would be out quickly.
It's not only about the death of the cook, it's what comes in seconds or two. This one.
Well, where he does a readiness test, and they're like, he's pissed. He's like, why would you do that right at the same time we just had a fire? And he's right. The captain is right.
He deliberately picks that time.
It's a perfect time to do a readiness test.
Yeah.
When you're stressed and you're dealing with another situation. There's a kid who went to jail. He ended up working with De Niro, and then he worked with Gandolfini on The Sopranos and committed a real crime and went to prison for it. That young actor. Got out, though. He's out, and he's cleaned up his life and does a lot of speaking engagements, talking about how to clean your life up, learn to make the right decisions. So, again, I don't think the XO is right here at all. I think he's being a pussy and not liking that sometimes shit
He definitely
happens.
should not have been pissed in front of the people.
Yeah, you hold your tongue, and you absolutely, because he does it later when we see Hackman's character lose his shit. But he also makes another mistake, and we'll see that in a few minutes. Where and there's another actor that Anima caught was I forget his first name, but his last name is Craven.
Rocky Carell.
No, Craven, because you recognized him too. You couldn't forget what you from. But Rocky, yeah, from CIS.
Wes.
Yep.
Yeah, not Wes Craven. No, it's something. God, I forget his first name. I think
I saw names. I just recognize faces.
Read by Nature says, I think I saw this movie when it came out, but it really sticks with you. Good movie, really tense. Yes. Bush says, no, there would be sprayers directly above the burners. Yeah, I brought that up already. That there would be sprayers, but you would also, on a nuclear submarine, you would also have the ability to choke. Once you've sealed that compartment, you can choke the air out of it. And once you remove the air, the fire can't burn. And I love how movies mistake that. They think oxygen is combustible. It's like, no, it makes other things that are combustible, more dangerous. Oxygen is an exciter gas. Who was wait?
No, it's not. They're talking
Oh
about
yeah, Ensign
Roland.
Yeah, Roland was she did something that should never have allowed her back into Starfleet, and that always confused me when they did that in the new season.
But she went out like a boss.
Yeah, she did. She died her own way. But in real life, the reason why all that happened was because that actress, I said actress only because I don't want to confuse people. She didn't want to continue doing the show.
Yeah.
And she considered George Zunza here. I love that guy as an actor. Once again, too big. He would never be allowed on a sub. But she didn't want to continue doing the show, and so that's why what happened to her happened. Because they needed
and that's
to
why
write her
we
off
have
the show.
Major Kira. She was going to be the EXO of
Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, that's what happens in the books. She becomes the
my key.
Well, she eventually becomes the commander of Deep Space Nine in the books. She also has a relationship with Quark, which is weird in and of itself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Agree with the naval nuclear arsenal dramatically changed things, especially in Cold War. Some of my Navy pals would talk about weird Z key holder drills on ships that shouldn't have nukes. I got to tell you something also, for those that showed up later, I mentioned that this is also, again, based on an actual incident, and they do it in order of what actually happened in real life. It was U-59, I think was the number. It was depicted in K-19 with Harrison Ford and Liam Neeson, and it's the true story was one of the sub commanders during the Cuban Missile Crisis was going to launch missiles, and the Exos, they had a cutoff communication. And he says, we can't do that. We need to confirm this communication. We need to go back, resurface, and do this. And it was very similar to this. It didn't play out dramatically with the taking over and all that shit. But there is, he orders that they took the captain into, what do you call it, when they lock him down in their room, and takes command of the vessel. And there was a bit of wrestling for the command of the ship. But once they did get to the surface, they got communication and all got quiet. And it was very quietly dealt with in the Soviet Union. And I've always wondered. Yeah, confined to quarters and with guard. And so here we again see this conflict coming between these two.
Well, here's the first time the captain really says to him, dude, know your place.
Know your place. And then bite your fucking tongue right there. Now, he did this correctly, not in front of everybody.
Yeah, they're in the captain's quarters. So he's good to speak freely. but not in front of the people like he did when he got angry about the drill and the timing.
And
that was overstepping.
He's bringing in a point that is going to be brought again in a couple of minutes. That is very reminiscent of what Spock tells to Kirk in the chapter that he got split up by the transporter. That he says that the captain has to be any less than perfect in the eyes of the crew.
And of course, this is the flaw of Hackman's character in this, is that he trusts his instincts too much, and he actually does something that's incorrect. And it's where Denzel, for the first time in the film, is correct. And it's so funny that not only is Denzel's character, the XO, correct, he handles it correctly for the first time in the film. And the confrontation is amazing. The drama, the intensity of the scene. And he understands that this is potentially the beginning of World War III.
I like the reference to 20,000 Leagues
Under the Sea. Yeah.
The giant octopus.
Yeah, the from the Catherine, he says, if we're getting attacked by and he's right. That's what killed him. It wasn't the fire. He had a heart attack because he was overweight.
Yeah, and stressed by the fire, I guess.
When you see the scene with the movie, with the music and everything, you get the feeling that the filmmaker is trying to put that opinion in a bad light. Because, I don't know, I've seen that there's too much support for the methods of the XO.
Yeah, the XO is getting what he deserves from his best friend here. He's letting him know the captain was right, man. You're wrong. And allegiances are tested in this film because they really go into the fight for command of this sub.
I think the captain is making a huge mistake by not taking any input from anyone. He isn't hearing anyone. He's just going with his instincts.
Yep. And that's, of course, the flaw in his command, is that he trusts his instincts too much. Captain can never show doubt. Absolutely. Captain always has to be in command. Got to be calm. You got to stay calm. And that's why in the scene when he loses his shit with the XO, he loses initiative with his men, his his command team. Often wrong, but never in doubt. That's right. It was one of the first things I learned as an ambulance commander. Even when I became a paramedic, take command of a situation, make your decision, stick with it, right or wrong, because you can find out later you were wrong. But either way it goes, you try to follow it through.
Rebus, no, man. No, that shit does not work that way.
He's just trolling. He knows that's bullshit.
I hope so.
I love Bush's comment. Aragorn, they'll let just anyone on a nuclear
submarine. Yeah. But this is really good because you get to see, because this is really one of the first films to do this. This is after Hunt for Red October. And they put some effort into this one too, showing submarine combat. And I don't think it's as good as the effects done in Hunt for Red October, but it's still really intense. Because there's that one scene I grab the chair when I'm watching it with the torpedoes. But these command briefings, this is really common in the military. Sandbox meetings if you're in the field.
Oh man, I hate having to skip because the dialogues in this movie are mm,
Yeah,
chef's kiss.
it's just like the last film. It's like Jaws. It's like, oh my god, the dialogue in this film is what really makes it so amazing. And again, this film, uh, despite the Hollywood aspect of it, is such a well written film, and every scene is meant to. So whether it's accurate or not, I don't care, and that's why I forgive them for a lot of their mistakes that they make militarily. That everything written in here is that guy's too big too, way too big.
That's the
Denzel's
one from the
size.
bus
Denzel is the
that we
size
keep
is the
talking about.
about the biggest that you would get on a ship because you do not want men that are large on those ships because it's claustrophobic to begin with. Then get somebody large. You got to walk past that guy going down the line because there's only one path
Mm.
on subs. You know. Oh man, this scene. This is where he de-escalates the fight after they get into the fist fight in the galley. I missed the beginning of the stream, but a great movie. Mel and I watched Greyhound with Tom Hanks. Very accurate. And Dale, my boss, worked on that film. I kind of wished I'd gotten to work on it, but it was one of the films that he went off and wasn't able to pull me into. But they are doing a sequel, and I'm going to ask Dale if I can do something, if he can get me a gig working on that, because they are doing a sequel to Greyhound. They've already been greenlit. And we will probably include that on our show because it is very accurate. And Dale did some amazing work on that film. Oh, I missed the beginning of the stream, but yeah, okay. Why do they always have to make the cook fluffy? I don't know, dude. Every cook I ever met was thin as fuck. I never met a cook
Because
that
they
was
work so
fat.
hard.
Yeah, they're constantly moving around the kitchen because they're not just doing the cooking, they're also commanding a team and moving around, watching everybody, just like you do in a restaurant. Boosh knows what I'm talking about. Your chef is always, in charge of his team, moving around.
Well, my daughter, she graduated major in gastronomy, and
Yeah,
we
there are
have
no
seen
chefs in the
some.
army or in the military. They're not chefs. They're cooks. But I trusted all my cooks. So go ahead, Martin. I'm sorry, I was responding to what was said.
Yeah, that no, I was just pointing out that my daughter, one of my daughters, she majored in gastronomy, and
Okay, hold on.
we
Pause it.
we have
Pause it. Pause it. This is an important scene.
we have known a fair number of fat chefs, and we have known
Yeah, me
two
too.
very slim chef. So I would say it's a 50-50. Now, of course, it's
Like
not the same
everywhere.
thing as been in the military when you
No, that's
have
what
to
they
have a
teach.
physical regime.
That's a rule in any kitchen, Bush. Absolutely. If you got time to lean, you got time to clean. Constantly in movement. I worked in I've been a cook. I was a student chef, and I just remember what that was like. Constantly on the move. Why did they race swap Mel Gibson with Denzel Washington? I got to be honest with you. I think Mel would have been good, but I think the contrast between Denzel and Hackman is better. And I'm assuming because this movie, 1995, that was around the same time he did Hamlet, wasn't it? When did he do Hamlet?
The
Jesus
other thing is,
Christ.
I think that Denzel can act more as a soft man than Mel. It's more believable,
Yeah, Mel's too excitable
and
compared
his
to
voice is
Denzel.
too coarse. It, you can see you can hear how Denzel toned down his voice for this movie. It's more conciliatory.
I'm going to go look at his retinue of films real quick. Go to IMDb. and look at 1994-95, because that's when this film was shot and then released. Let's see. Whew, man, Mel's got a long film career.
Okay,
right.
I'm gonna roll this because
Braveheart,
because
because he made Braveheart. That's why he was replaced. Right there. That was released in 95, which meant they shot in 94. Most likely because I know that they had problems with that film shooting, and so there was a lot of pickups and shit. So yeah, that's why.
This part, the captain is griping because the people are underperforming.
They
So
need
he
a kick in
says
the
this,
ass. Yeah.
and then a pat in the back. So we're going to congratulate you, but subperforming.
Everybody should
fuck?
get a trophy, is what I got from that line.
Yeah.
Oh, the captain's being an asshole in this scene.
The XO is too.
This is not going to get morale back up. They both are,
Morale's-
yeah, but
The thing is that
you don't fix
the
morale
captain is
in
being.
that way.
I got to
the
tell
captain
you,
is
I
being
don't agree with that, Anima. Having been in the military, the XO is actually wrong here. It's more important to get the damn job done, and we'll deal with morale later. We're on DEFCON 3. You know,
you have Steve.
There's Steve Zahn right there. Yeah, man. And what's his name? I forget his name. This is his first movie too.
Now you have to understand the captain too. He's really fed up with this guy.
Yeah, he's fed up with him, and so this is him telling him, "You've pushed my buttons one too many times, and I'm now going to, do this to you." And the XO should absolutely know better than this shit. He's just not doing his job very well at this point. He's doing a terrible job as an XO. Because I will tell you, as a person that was in charge of morale in the military, as a combat medic, one of your responsibility is your team's morale, your platoon. And you don't do shit like this. I'm surprised he didn't get smoked for it.
The XO is definitely too focused on
he wouldn't have
disagreeing
smoked him
with
in front of anybody, because he is senior command, and XO is. He wouldn't have smoked him in front of anybody, but he would have taken him private and smoked him.
Now,
don't you ever fucking talk to me like that again.
This scene is not in the theatrical version, just in the extended, and I fucking love it.
Well, we get to see these two connect over food. And I like that. He's like,
no, I don't.
This wasn't
He's an enabler.
I know I'm overweight. He cuts him off. I know I'm overweight, but this is my last one. I'm leaving. I'm retiring. So what's the point in talking to me about this? And he's right. How did this even... The captain, it's really weird that the captain would do that if he knew that this was his last deployment.
I think he wanted this conversation.
Well, this is a necessary conversation because this is, war is won through hearts and minds, is what a lot of people believe. And it's kind of true. And what happens here is a bond occurs between these two over food. And here's Zunza says the truth to him. He says, "You're wrong for doing that. It's about respect, and you're being disrespectful to the captain." But then turns it right around and goes back to food. Yeah, I agree with you. It can cause confusion if people are talking too much in a kitchen. You need to be focused on what you're doing, answering when people yell out to you.
Yes. That thing that he's saying.
Yep. And 3, most important, everybody got an opinion, but the captain's got to make a choice. That's right. He's in command, and you live and die with that, and that's where the skipper's earned his stripes. I wouldn't have said stripes, because that can confuse some people. He says, "You're right. When you're right, you're right." You hungry? Of course I'm hungry. I'm a fat guy. Always. I love George Zunza. He is such a great actor right there. Is he still with us?
I hope so. I haven't heard anything about him passing away.
Man, I want to see
And
that
here's what.
scene. It wasn't in my version. That sucks.
Yeah, because that's why I went with this. And here's the hunter killer.
Yeah, those subs, man.
That's ironic having a fish tank in its up.
How is
And the
that
Akuta
possible, by
class,
the way?
the Akuta class has something really cool. They have the rear sonar thing that sits up there. It looks so makes the sub look so sci-fi with that sonar bell
Oh,
on top of the fin.
I thought it was a spoiler to go faster.
The spoiler is what's below it. The object on top of the spoiler, the fin,
I know. I'm
is
just
the
fucking
additional
around.
sonar. Because on the Akuta class, the sonar is up front, right in front of the conning tower on the deck, and but they have the additional one that allows him. And what it is it opens up, and they can drag an additional sonar. They
So
can go a distance, and that sonar hangs back by a
here's
line
what they are receiving the message
that
that
gets cut off.
no the one that says that they have to attack
Oh
because
yeah, launch.
they have not been attacked by by the other sub yet. They only detected it.
Yeah, and authenticators. If you get a command, you have to have an authentication code, and if that authentication code doesn't match perfectly, you do not take that command because you never know if intel has been breached and you're receiving a false command.
I think we have to go on break.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
57. Pause the movie, and we will be back, guys, after this brief commercial break for KGRA. Take us away, Bill. Hi, guys. This is Gerry from Pop Culture Minefield here on KGRA, and we're leaving for our first break. I hope we survive.
Did you know 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated? If you struggle with focus, run low on energy, or when it's time to finally sleep, you simply can't, this can all be linked to dehydration, and Fuel Up has the answer. Our proprietary formula contains the finest cellular hydration with the strongest immune-enhancing natural ingredients. The Fuel Up system is made up of 3 different incredibly tasting varieties. Wake kickstarts your day with a jolt of caffeine. Play boosts focus while hydrating your cells. Rest not only helps you relax, but also rejuvenates your cells while you sleep. Here's what our clients have to say.
I really don't miss my coffee, and you can tell the difference.
So I'm going to take it for the energy. I'm going to take it for the play. I'm going to take it, all day.
And it works. That's the thing. It works. We love it.
Take the Fuel Up Challenge now, where we offer a Feel the Difference money-back guarantee. Fuel Up for life.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Oh, wow, we survived. Welcome back to the commercial break. Now for some more Pop Culture Minefield on KGRA. Yeah, and again, I want to point out the dehydration things. People think they're hungry and they're not hungry. They're actually thirsty. And it gets a confused signal in the brain. And you can eat when you should be drinking. And that's why here in America, because it's elsewhere too, but in the United States in particular, 70% of people are unaware that they're dehydrated and they think they're hungry. But
and George Bunda's still with us.
Oh, good. I love that guy. What a great actor. Steve Zahn again. Now, I loved also that this film followed in suit with what was done in the making of Hunt for Red October, in the fact that they built it on a gimbal, the entire set, so they could move the set into any position. So it was more believable when they were going down a bubble or two or up a bubble or two or tilting. They were able to simulate what position they would be in those turns.
They used the set for Independence Day too.
In this?
The bridge set was used in Independence Day.
Oh, that's neat. I didn't know that. That's cool.
I like it when they reuse stuff instead of just destroying it when they're done filming. That's so wasteful.
I agree.
Independence Day. Which part of Independence Day?
I don't know.
I don't remember a set like
I haven't seen it in a long time, but apparently they had use for it.
I don't remember subs in that movie at all.
I think it was repurposed as wasn't there in their emergency command bunker.
That makes sense. Yeah. The TOC, the talk.
Yeah.
It's just cool that they built this movable set and then use it for another movie.
Yeah, the gimbals are hydraulic, and they're able to move the ship to simulate. Because then it's no longer Star Trek where they're told to react. The set is actually moving. So they're able to more realistically react to that movement.
Boy, it's so funny on Star Trek, though, when everybody moves differently. And you can
5 degree down bubble is a steep descent.
Yeah.
Thank you, Danny.
Morning, fuckers. Good morning to you. The bubble is basically the same thing you use on a level. That's what it means. It's referring to the bubble on level, and then you're down a bubble, movement of the bubble. This scene, I'm trying to remember what happens here. Because there's a moment when they're doing something, and a guy, because everybody's told to stand still, hold your station. And the last thing you want to do is be standing anywhere near stairs, and you see a guy falling down the stairs at one point. And I'm like, why did you hold your position on stairs? It's just dumb. You either go down the stairs and move to another position, or go up the stairs and move to a position away from the stairs.
Or at least sit down.
Oh yeah, these sub battles are reminiscent, and I'm glad that they reference it in the film. Run Silent, Run Deep, and the other one, I forget the name. Just really
Enemy
great
Below.
stuff. Yeah, Enemy Below, because one deals with not the Germans or Russians, and the other one deals with the Japanese, and the one with Mitchum, I do believe is the one that they use in Star Trek for when they go up against the Romulans for the first time. It's a submarine show episode. In fact, some of the things they do on the Enterprise in that episode don't make sense to a starship.
That is what you are not a product manager.
Yeah, guy taking a poop. Really, really not a good spot to be. There's always somebody in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Balance of Terror, that episode. Yep. It's the first episode they used Mark Leonard, who would later play Spock's father. And he's the
Romulan Commando, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely important not to
Yes,
make
Penny,
noise.
we've heard.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
What is?
Oh, what happened to Salty Nerds?
It
break-in.
pisses
It's
me
all
off.
over Twitter.
Although Matt Vader and I took a bet on if Danny would cry.
You assholes. You
So who
fucking
won?
assholes.
I don't know. I don't know if Danny cried when he found out. We'll find out.
Well,
it really pisses
Danny,
me
did
off
you
to get
cry?
broken into.
Yeah, Danny, we need to know.
Yeah, he goes, wow. Matt Vader and I, you forget Matt Vader and I are good buddies, so we talk about stuff all the time. I'm pissed that this happened to them, man. It's fucked up. Breaking into their studio and doing that shit. People are fucking assholes. They really are. We should share that link. I can't get to it right now. I'm only working with one hand today with my arm fucked up. So basically, if you guys can get the link to their, I think it's Indiegogo, isn't it?
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe. Help support Salty Nerds so they can replace that shit. And I agree, Tom absolutely was right. They need to have video security with that studio. That studio is too valuable. Oh, then Matt won. I bet that you wouldn't cry. So Matt Vader won. He said you would cry.
You're such an idiot. How can you not bet on him crying? That's safe.
Dork beat me to it.
Thank you, Dork. Thank you. Got to support our friends, man. Salty Nerd is an essential part of our community. And it really is fucked up that somebody did that, broke into their place and did damage and stole shit. Just bullshit, man. Scumbags. I do like these torpedo scenes because these are intense moments.
That was hard to watch, being claustrophobic. It was intense.
Well, see, watching somebody in a claustrophobic situation is different than being in it. So I have no trouble because I'm not claustrophobic. I'm in the open. I'm out in the open. I'm safe. What I'm watching is different than what I'm feeling. That's why I don't get that. I understand that it bothers you if you're claustrophobic, but watching something where people are dealing with a claustrophobic situation, I just don't understand that. I'm not saying Eddie, I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying I don't get it.
I'm having a physical reaction like you do when you see somebody get hurt. You have a physical reaction too. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, there's it's considered a disorder. But the fact is because of my empathy, the levels of empathy I have, when I watch somebody fall down and hit the ground, anybody, if I see them fall down, hit the ground, or get kicked in any particular places, my body physically reacts to it, and it'll send a rush. Just like if you go up over top of a hill too quickly, I get that same sensation, and it fucking annoys me. It just, that's what being.
I can't shut off that
it's one of the things.
To watch claustrophobic scenes.
It's, but the thing is, though, my physical reaction is just a reaction, then it's over. It's just an annoyance. I see spiders; they freak me out, but I can still sit down and watch Arachnophobia. I just tuck in my pant legs.
My thing is with heights, so I took the very dumb decision to heights. I am acrophobic.
Heights.
Heights.
Okay.
And I went to cinemas to see that Stallone movie.
Okay, here's the beginning, by the way, right here. This is what leads to the crux of the story. Is he's telling him no, sir, and he's absolutely following proper chain of command here. And he's absolutely right that they shouldn't launch without confirmation what that last message was. No, it's like, I understand the captain feels that he should follow the last command, but the fact is they were being given another command when they were cut off. And his excuse for not wanting to use it, he goes, well, there's no guarantee that was actually from them. Even more a reason why you need to confirm it.
Yeah, the XO is right.
The XO is absolutely right in this moment. And this is the part that's based on the actual situation. that took place during the Missiles of October.
Yeah, what presses the captain to follow orders and not confirm is the presence of the Akula.
Threat.
He said,
Yep.
I'm not gonna go to the surface and risk being torpedoed.
And that's when he says, why don't we detach the buoy, the communication buoy?
Oh yeah, it already happened. The buoy
it's been cut
already
off. They've lost it.
It malfunctioned because it made a sound
And
that
gave their
attracted the
position up.
Akula.
Yep.
And we have Mike in the house.
Hey, Mike. Oh, did you send it? Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. He's got the new voiceover for Tom and Gerry.
Oh, I want to hear that.
That is a new one.
I've never had an empathy boner. I think that might be good. Might be a good thing.
Not in your case.
Mr. Hunter. That's why I was in the medical field, because my empathy, my concern for other people and wanting to take care of them. But sometimes it goes overboard and it actually has a physical impact on me that drives me up a wall. Yeah, I've actually had I didn't know I had claustrophobia until I was doing an MRI, and I had one of the worst panic attacks I'd ever had. And I was like, "Holy shit, I'm claustrophobic! I never knew."
How can you not know that? I found that out when I was a kid.
Because I never found myself in a situation where I felt trapped.
I'm the opposite of claustrophobic.
Agoraphobic?
No, just I'm not phobic of being. It doesn't bother me being in closed-in spaces.
Oh.
I used to go caving when I was a kid, so.
Yeah, I tried to go caving back in the 2000s, right here in Missouri. You know, the cave at the park, Sequiota.
Yeah.
And I don't know, once I got to where the walls were starting to get about 8 feet, I realized, oh, I can't do this. So Mac and Ultra Rob went on without me. I couldn't do it. I started having that anxiety attack.
Yeah, situation.
When they're trying to remove each other from the bridge.
And the fact is, the XO is following the proper chain of command here. And that's why Zunza agrees, and he takes the captain. Because he made the mistake of telling him, I'll replace you and get somebody to give me the confirmation. Doesn't work that way. You can't do that. That's a break in the chain of command. I do not give it, which is what happened on that Russian sub. It's exactly what happened. And the conflict begins, and the Russian U-boat commander was taken into custody over on the ship, on the sub. And he's referred to, Vasilov or something like that, his first name, the young XO, is referred to as the man who saved the world from World War III. He's been called that by many historians.
And Joe's in the house too.
Hey, Joe. Yeah. There comes a price, man. Staying up late. We're old. Can't do that shit anymore. Captain, I relieve you of your command. Cobb, escort the captain to his stateroom. I'm assuming you're not. Yes, I am. It's like you made it easy.
This is embarrassing. The captain snaps in front of the whole bridge crew, and it's embarrassing.
Yeah, when he tells him, why don't you shut the fuck up? And you see all the other officers, like, all the deck officers are like, what are you doing? You just lost your shit in front of. And that, like I said, when you lose initiative in your command, there's a problem. Don't worry about morale. Worry about initiative. Initiative is more important than morale. And that's why the XO is wrong, because initiative is more important than morale. When you're doing something, it's more important that you're able to do your job. Don't worry about your feelings. Worry about that you're able to do your damn job. Worry about feelings later. And that was, one more major mistake of the XO in the story. Katie's just going to on Emmy and second to talk about it. Good.
Well, he says that Kedish just told him via phone that he's got insurance now and security cams installed.
Good.
That's good to know.
Yep.
Oh, and that's when his best friend finds out, like, oh, fucking shit. That look on his face. Yeah. And this is where we see other members of the crew who don't react well to what he did. And they look at his mutiny. Gandolfini's character in particular. Because he is right there. Look at that expression. He is not happy. He is an acolyte of the captain.
Yeah, that's the other problem in that swap, that there were people that were more focused on loyalty than in duty.
Yeah, and it is,
because it's not mutiny.
That's for the drama. This is the drama of the film and why it's not exactly factual of what happened, and because it wouldn't occur like this. I am excited, by the way. We are finally getting a new adaptation of the Kane Mutiny, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they adapt it for this new film.
Oh, this part is.
Thank you. Fuck you. He is only on his side because he's doing the right thing.
No, I say I'm not on your side. He's on the side of the rules.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, he was breaking the chain of command, and you can't do that. And it makes you the most correct person, and that's what I'm on the side of.
So he's doing his job, basically.
Yep. And I got to tell you, really great casting in this film.
And by the way, his name's Matt Craven.
Matt Craven, that's it. I remember his last name because of Wes.
Yeah. I don't think there's any relation. They don't look alike.
And shit hits the fan.
Again.
The full rudder.
I was biting my fingernails watching these scenes. So fucking intense.
All ahead, full zero bubble. Can you guess what zero bubble is?
Yeah, completely
level.
Horizontal.
Completely level. Yeah. By the way, if I miss anybody, I saw Read by Nature is here. Real Wade Nation is here. James Ritter. Of course, our good friend Darius Munchausen is here too. And we got everybody else. I want to make sure I said hi to those guys.
Did you say hi to Fish Belly?
Oh, yeah.
Did I? I don't remember, but good morning, Fish Belly.
I like the way they do exposition in here, using a dumb crewmate, and the other one had to explain to him, and then said, "You're an asshole. How did you get it?"
That's the scene right there that Anima saw me jump, because I'm just like, oh my god, I push myself back in the seat with those torpedoes. I get so caught up in the film. I'm like, that's so close. Yeah, this makes it one of my favorite sub battle films because there is some really good sub action in this movie. The one thing they don't have is that great moment from Hunt for Red October. You've killed us when their own torpedo comes back at them. You just can't beat that scene.
Wow.
I think it says, "You arrogant prick, you killed us."
Yeah, there's what I like in this too is the whole arming mechanism. Oh yeah, that explosion. This is another one that made me jump because that's so intense. That explosion happening so close to the sub.
Yeah, that would have rattled him really hard.
Absolutely. people don't understand how dangerous underwater explosions are to anybody underwater.
Yeah,
They're very dangerous.
Water actually makes the explosion more intense because of the thicker medium that the explosion's traveling through.
That's why I find it funny when they show people physically in the water in explosions. I'm like, yeah, that would have absolutely jellified their body. Their
They were
organs would
hit
have been jellified
by a torpedo, enemy torpedo fired just as the last second before the Akula was destroyed.
Yep, it was fired right at that moment. So it's like, oh shit.
Like gun with my last.
And we have the worst scene in the film coming up.
Okay, you both talked at the same time. I have no idea what either of you said.
Go ahead, Anima.
I said we have the worst scene in the whole movie coming up. I could barely watch that. When they have to close the hatch and lock 3 people in and leave them to die. That was just horrible.
Well, they chose that because they were told repeatedly to get out. And
they couldn't do a suck.
Yeah, no, they could, but the chief of the crew, of the repairing crew, he didn't want to. He wanted to repair the damage at any cost.
And
one of them got knocked out.
Military is full of,
so he was lost anyway.
Military is chock full of people that self-sacrifice to save their crew or team. It happens all the time, and that's what happened there. It's just not a quick one.
Oh yeah, every time you see someone jump on a grenade, it's heartbreaking.
As I was saying, it's not quick. This is a more agonizing form of it because they know they're going to slowly fucking drown. And it's a horrible way to die. It's like suffocation. Horrible way to die. Yeah, this is such an intense film, both for the drama and for warfare aspects of it. And I think it's really interesting that at the beginning of the film, they're setting up a very similar scenario of the missiles of October. They're in an area of water that's very similar to what we would have dealt with Cuba.
Yeah, they're sinking.
Yeah, and
and
they're approaching, that hull crush depth, and they're just sort of sitting there. Are we gonna crash or are we gonna level off? And be killed. Level off is what they hope for, but they're also all prepared for what's potentially about to happen to them. Yep. And that's when he says they're leveling off.
And it's so Hollywood to wait until the very last minute to have the propulsion system work again.
Yeah, and this is a breach of command right here. What he's doing here, he could get in trouble and should get in trouble for what he does here. Countermands an order that was rightfully given, and he's telling him to get aside. He wants to go in and see the captain. And he says, fuck the XO. Absolutely, he could be kicked out of the military for saying that.
And the captain's just casually reading a book.
Yeah, during all that shit that just happened, he's just
he's reading the XO's file.
Oh, is that what he's reading?
Yeah, he was making a profile of the XO. Here they're planning how to retake the sub.
Yeah, you get those men of small security force, then come back and get me. So absolutely, they've had a legal taking of command, and now they're actually planning to do a mutiny. This is a mutiny. What the XO did isn't a mutiny. This is a mutiny.
No, the XO went by the book. The captain didn't.
Proper orders. Here we go. If they order him to launch, he'll launch and you'll blow them all to hell. I'd rather go down myself than get this one wrong. And he's taking his buddy's side. So this is where you see the ultra factions within the ship. Again, didn't happen like this in the true story, but that's the drama here. This film is not just about what happened, but what if. And I like that. And it's written well. So I can't fault him, even though this would not happen this way. God, this is exciting. This is drama.
However, he gives in. Remorsefully, but he gives in.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it when we're doing a radio show and nobody's talking.
Yeah. Sorry.
I stop every once in a while, give everybody their chances, and then just dead silence.
Well,
I'm sorry, my connection is just so bad.
I've been talking, but I have to monitor the advance of the movie because
it doesn't shut you up other times, huh?
Fuck off.
Yeah, he calls it. This is mutiny. This is mutiny.
No. He says that they are at the moment in a mutiny. They're calling the XO a mutineer.
It's not a mutiny. It is a legal action.
I know, but
the captain tries to make it look like the XO is in the wrong and the XO is committing a mutiny.
Oh, God's sake. Uno reverse mutiny. Here I am trying to advance the wrong window.
And really,
I like how checked out the captain is. He's reading a book, listening to music.
But Martin pointed out he's not checked out. He was reading the report on Hunter to better understand him. He wasn't just reading any old book. But listening to music, I listen to music. I told you they make fun of me in the military because I was constantly listening to Peter Gabriel and relaxing music while everybody else was listening to hard rock, punk, rap. And somebody made fun of that one day. And I said, have you ever wondered why I'm calmer than everybody else? That's why. I'm trying to mentally relax to do my job to the best of my ability because I need to be in a mentally relaxed state. And so I kind of like that he's listening to, classical music.
And here's talking to the technician that has to repair the radio.
Because this is really the crux of the story is in order to prove himself right, he has to get to radio depth so that he can make contact and get that last message that got cut off.
Yeah, but the radio is fried.
Well, he needs the radio to be functioning again.
Yeah. Because otherwise he could be misread as of mutiny later. He has to get that last order. Star Trek, Star Trek, the USS Enterprise. All right, I love this.
I love the Star Trek talk.
Well, I love the nerd talk in this.
He makes him
Remember
Scotty.
when Klingons were gonna blow up
absolutely.
the Enterprise? Scotty, I gotta have more power. He needs more warp speed. Yeah, I love this scene. Well, I'm Captain Kirk. You're Scotty. I need more power. Aye, Captain. I love that line from Star Trek 2, I think it was, where he says, I can have that in so many hours. He says, do you multiply everything by 4?
Well, of course, sir.
How do you think I keep up my reputation as a miracle worker? I have the con, XO has the con. Delay that order. Any of the officers or chiefs feel you've been unjustly caught up in this, you stand with me now. This is now an armed insurrection. Absolutely a mutiny. An armed mutiny. The other one was not armed. It was following the chain of command. And that's how you know that he's wrong for this.
Yeah, the captain is going against all the rules.
And Zunza
and
actually,
still he has people being loyal to him, which is so wrong.
And Zunza's, he was right. He's like, he broke the chain of command and was in the wrong only for that reason. I'm not supporting you personally. I support the chain of command.
Yeah, in a way, it's the same situation with Hunter and his friend. They they look at each other in the same position of, I support you as a person, but you are wrong.
Attempted mutiny. Yeah, prick.
Everybody in the zombies, what again?
And of course, he brought up those horses earlier, and that is something that we kind of left out, is that he was wrong about the horses, that they're born a different color than what they turn.
The Lipizzaner horses? They are born
yeah.
dark and turn white.
No, what the captain was wrong. It was in the country of origin of the horses.
Yeah, country of origin. I just remember that he corrects him. Denzel's character does, and I thought that was a great example of dialogue, how to write dialogue to show confrontation and conflict.
They're both wrong, though, because they come from Slovenia.
Confirm target package. Look, it's not a mutiny. It's about the book. There you go. He's nailing it right here. Zunza is one of the most correct characters in this movie. You don't break the chain of command.
Yeah, but
you have to do everything by the book. No orders are valid, Cobb, if you're wrong. There you go. If you're wrong, you're wrong. This is that conversation they had earlier. When you're right, you're right. When you're wrong, you're wrong.
Oh.
I heard a click and she left. Yeah, she clicked and then disappeared. Rachenko surrendered and it's over. We launch. They see us. They launch. That's right. Our birds pass each other in the air. Boom. And what you got? Nuclear war. And as I've always said, you've seen one thermonuclear war, you've seen them all.
There she is.
Now, this is back in the day when all armed security on these vessels were Marines. They are not Navy.
And they hate each other's guts.
Yeah, wherever there's a port, because this is the difference. There are two different kinds of security on the ship. It's the ports, the doors that are being guarded by Marines. Oh, he gave him a good shot to the nose. Took his weapon from him. I never liked him. Let's do it. So once again, it's like this is a war in the submarine. I mean, the brilliance of the writing of this is, sure, they've left all reality that it wouldn't happen this way, but God damn it, this is high drama at its best. 12 minutes. They've got 12 minutes to do whatever they have to do because the Russians can launch within 12 minutes after fuel up.
This countdown makes it so intense.
Oh, yeah.
The guy just announcing the minutes.
Well, even the technician repairing the radio. at that moment,
you can't. He's telling him, once you launch, you can't take it back. Once those things go, those birds fly, it's war. And it's the end of everything we've known. And this is really the drama of what happened right here. of what happened on that Russian.
Yeah, he says in
submarine.
one scene, then what's left of Russia is going to launch at us.
You're the only one that knows the combination. It's up to you. Oh my God, he's putting his best friend in a spot. I love this though. And
his best friend sided with the captain, so.
But then he sides with
he's making
him
a
again.
good argument. He's making a great argument.
This is the guy. He's trying to repair that thing, and everybody's hurry, hurry, hurry. When you're gonna have it ready? And so, you know what? Fuck off! I'm hanging up.
I like it. I like it when they're running out of time, and he radios him again and just calls him Scotty, and that's of course when he gets it done.
This is
because that kid is.
How much time do you need?
And he hangs up. Let
he
me work.
hangs up.
Yeah, Gandolfini, by the way, I'm so sorry we lost him. What a great actor. His intensity in this movie is some of the best. He helps create the tension with his performance. Because he can be a scary dude.
Yep.
Oh, Joe has joined us.
We lose a lot of good actors early.
I'm so glad we still have Zunza, but I don't know if he's still acting. What a great actor.
A lot of good actors early.
I got to shut off my TV. Hang on, guys.
Yeah, we can hear us. It's awesome. This is great.
Sorry about that. Man, I overslept, dude. Sometimes every once in a while up there at the
You could have
rehab,
shut the TV off before coming
I
on.
just can't sleep, when I'm up there. I guess because I'm away from home or something. I only got 2 hours sleep on Saturday night, and God, I slept for 11 hours when I went to bed last night.
Squawk, by the way, SQ squawk is something that's used in military communication. Just look it up. Squawk box, all that shit.
Yeah.
This
I
is
wanted
we
to
are
ask
really.
you what that means, Gerry.
We'll talk about it later because this is it. This is it. We are in the third act, and I always refer to the final scene as an epilogue because this is the third act. And what, Martin?
I think that this is the moment in which the captain realized he is no longer fit to command anymore.
Yeah, he realizes he screwed up. And
Because
just like in the true
happen.
story, when they went back to Russia, the commander admitted to the fact that he thought the XO was right and justified in what he did. Because he realized also that there was no World War III. There were no missiles launched by the U.S. So absolutely, he had lost the right command. Oh, man, he threatens him here. He threatens to kill him here. This is
and then go for his subordinate.
Millions of lives at stake here, Peter. Don't make a dumb decision. And he makes the right decision. Just
so
shoot
intense.
me. I'm not doing it.
No. It is when he's pointing the gun at the other guy. And then
this is so fucked up.
This is what you're talking about is this is a hostage now. He's treating it like a hostage situation.
Yeah, he's stepping over the line, no doubt about it.
And that's all he's done in this film, really. Like 3 times he stepped over the line.
Yeah.
I skipped the slide, but you can see when the Vigo tells him that he's going to agree. The look in the captain is, oh my God, what did I do? What did I just do?
Yeah,
and they took the key, and they cannot fire.
Yeah, thankfully. But I think at this point the captain is not comfortable going forward, but he has no choice now.
Yeah, you've made your decision, and this is the outcome.
Yep.
And in the end, he's almost grateful that Hunter takes control again. Now, anybody got a problem with that?
He's relieved about that.
Mm-hmm. See, if they had never gotten that message that was cut off, this would all be a moot point.
Exactly.
It's the fact that they got that message and they had to investigate it. That's the whole thing Denzel is wanting to do. And
it's all he's wanting to do because it could have been cancel of order.
Right.
The fire.
If they'd have never gotten that, they'd have lost.
It's Schrodinger's cat, by the way. Schrodinger's cat. That communication is a great example.
Unlike the opening of the movie War Games, the opening scene in that movie where the two missilemen, one of them is ready to kill the other one to turn that key, if you remember. They didn't get a message. That was just, they found, it was a practice exercise where they found out, what was it? The percentage was like 35 to 40% of the guys didn't even launch their missiles or something like that in that movie. I can't remember exactly, but
by the way,
this is a totally different situation because they were sent a message having to do with the launch.
I want to explain something. Hold on, Joe. I want to explain something. You saw the mention of VLF. This is something used mostly naval, but the fact is it can be used anywhere. It's referred to as very low frequency, and it goes further. It's sort of like AM versus FM. FM sounds better, but AM goes longer. And AM is technically a VLF. So that's what VLF is when you saw that mentioned.
VLF also can penetrate salt water.
That whole scene in War Games makes no sense because the consoles are far enough apart that one person cannot turn both keys.
No, they can't. And you're right. It doesn't make any sense. I didn't understand why. What do you accomplish by shooting the other guy? You're definitely not launching then, you know? I didn't understand that shit.
Okay.
And then you're locked down.
The radio is working. The radio at last is working. And now they have to wait for confirmation. And
here we go. Here's the horses. Here's the horses.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, they're both wrong. They're neither from Portugal nor from Spain. They're from Slovenia. And yes, I've seen them.
Not Portugal?
In Vienna.
Not Portugal?
No. Slovenia.
Neither Spain.
Yeah.
Well, that is.
And I really do like the banter between these two.
Yeah.
Even though I know that the XO is completely wrong with the way he handles the relationship, I do like the banter.
Yeah.
It's borderline racist, though, at some point.
Yeah, it is.
It made me uncomfortable. It makes you uncomfortable, I think.
They're black. They're born black.
They're not black. They are gray, not black. It's more gray. But
I didn't know that. Huh. But they are from Portugal.
Yeah.
Come on, Bossler. Come on.
Going back to that, doesn't he? He won't let go of that at all. Oh, man.
And I got to tell you, you know, Denzel was well on his way, but this movie is what put him over the top as a star.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, he had made
And so in many ways, Mel Gibson being replaced, because Mel Gibson was directing, not just starring him, but directing the movie Braveheart. And that film required too much of him. So he backed out and Denzel got this role. Whoever got this role was going to be thrown into absolute stardom. But Mel was already on his way there. He was a movie star already in the 80s.
Lethal Weapon put him over the top.
Denzel had not completely done it yet. And this film did it for him. A lot of people like to say that, what's his name? The black film director did it with his film. It's like, no, this is the
Spike
film.
Lee?
Yeah. Spike Lee. It's like, no, Spike Lee helped. This is the movie that put him over the top as a movie star.
Yeah, the message got
Gene
through.
Hackman.
Yeah. This was a movie that a lot of the movie going public was going to go see. The Spike Lee movie, not as many people were going to go see that movie. But this one was huge. This was a huge release right here.
Yeah.
I remember when this movie came out. Yeah, it was huge. Mel Gibson,
Southern Bush,
at the time,
not Eastern, Southern.
He was already.
Look at that. He's agreeing with you and you still got to fucking criticize.
Well, accuracy is important.
Yes.
Granted. Authenticate. Delta, Sierra, Bravo, Zulu, Delta, Tango.
Oh, I hear that.
Yeah.
Phonetic spelling. You remember your phonetic alphabet, Gary? You remember the whole thing?
Yeah, I've done it on the show. Gone through the whole thing. I've also had brain farts where I forgot one, and I'm like, "Oh shit! I just what is that one? What is that one?"
Sometimes I'll forget. Yeah.
The look in the faces of all the mutineers, where they're like, oh my god, it's like falling down. So we were the bad guys.
We were the bad guys.
So we were the bad guys. What? Oh shit!
I'm the
what
bad
the hell? No, you weren't the bad guys. It was a bad situation.
I like how they get the message through, and
they absolutely would have
read
gotten in
it,
trouble.
and you feel like you're breathing again.
Yeah.
Those officers, they would have been in trouble.
Oh
for
yeah,
what they did.
Oh, huge.
Armed insurrection on a
The
ship.
captain on down.
The captain would have been.
Yeah,
And they just let him retire.
You know, up to that point, absolutely, I understand the decision, but with the drama written into the film of doing that, armed insurrection on a ship, absolutely, the captain would have, his career was over. All of anybody involved with that would have been booted. They would have probably still gotten their honorable, but they would have been booted from the military.
I think the radio chief was booted. I don't know if the chief of the boat was booted, but probably, maybe not.
But in the end, in this film, just like in real life, the Russian Navy command found that both men weren't wrong, weren't totally wrong or totally right, and it was because of the actual commander of the boat that he said the XO was right to do what he did.
Yeah,
that no charges were ever preferred against him.
Mm-hmm.
James Robart, what a great actor!
Jason
right
Robart.
Yeah,
Jason,
he's fantastic.
What a great fucking actor right there.
Mm-hmm. How many great movies have you seen him in? I mean, good lord.
Wow. It's like his whole career.
Yeah.
I loved it when he did his spaghetti western. I mean, he was so good as a bad guy in that film.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite still was it Something Wicked This Way Comes.
As the dad, yeah.
Yeah.
And in many ways, the hero of the film.
Yep.
Back when dads could be heroes.
If he's lying, this will be the first I've heard of it. Because.
But I always wondered.
He's an honorable man.
I always wondered at the end of this one how many of these guys stayed in the military and how many got out after this experience.
In real life, the Russian XO, I think he stayed in the military and retired, and the commander, I think he retired right after.
Right afterwards, huh? Yeah.
I'm
talking about the rest of the guys on the boat with the stress of what went down. You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
know. It's depicted in the movie K-19 Widowmaker. It's the same. It's the same story.
Okay. I've never seen that one. That's Harrison Ford, right?
Or inspired by the same story.
That's Harrison Ford, right?
Yeah. And Liam Neeson.
Yeah, I've never seen that one.
And I just watched a documentary that puts to question what Mr. Christian did on the Bounty and how wrong he was to lead that mutiny.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's an interesting historical documentary I just watched on YouTube last week.
I'm going to get some Java. Be right back.
Roger that. This panel will accept, and basically the panel agrees. Nobody's really at fault. They all were right. They were all wrong equally.
I still don't like that they just let the captain retire. He's not facing consequences, and he should.
Wait, Martin was getting ready to correct you. They didn't let him.
And the XO given a command? That would not happen in real life.
It did. No, it did. It absolutely did. The XO continued his naval career and retired. Yeah, I just said that a minute ago. Because Joe asked, and I said, as I recall, the commander agreed that he was right to do what he did, I love this scene. This is a great payoff for the whole horse thing, even though they're wrong. Doesn't matter. The movie's good.
Yeah.
That respect is given.
Right.
That admiration is given.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible salute.
Yeah, horrible. Good Lord.
I thought you would say that when I watched it.
That elbow way the hell up there. It's like, is your hand saluting or elbow? What's going on there?
Yeah, it's like, wait, that's not right.
I always kept my forearm tight with my bicep when I did it.
Fletcher, absolutely. If he had been recaptured, taken back to England, he would have been executed. Absolutely.
Yep.
Bligh was, look, I'm not saying he treated his men well. What I'm saying is he was in command of that vessel and they wrongfully mutinied. And in the movie, they really Hollywood up why they mutinied. And the fact is, it was just a loss of initiative. And Christian lost initiative with his captain. They'd already had problems previously. A lot of people don't know that they'd worked together previously, Bligh and Christian.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to ask you about this one, I know I'm late to the party, but how do you feel that it fed into the drama?
Mr. Fletcher!
Mr. Fletcher! Denzel Washington's character being new to the boat was a huge part of the drama of the show because a lot of people didn't know whether to trust him or not, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, new guy.
Yeah, that
F&G.
That's a huge thing in the military.
And that's why
trust is
Zunz's
earned.
character is so important because he's the guy that we're looking to in order to read the situation. And it's our trust in Zunz's character, in his rational way of thinking as a deck officer, that tells us that the right decision is being made here. And I like it, though, that he corrects him later. It's by the book. I'm not supporting you. I'm supporting the fact that what you did was by the book.
Right.
And what he did broke command.
Yeah. You're talking about the chief of the boat, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, the British Navy was notorious for conscription, which is these guys would go into bars, get drunk, and somebody would give them a Mickey Finn. They get knocked out, and next thing you know, they're a fucking sailor in the British Navy.
One of the major things I'm using in my comic book is the conscription gangs. You know, the press gangs they used in the colonies to just beat a friggin' fighting age person senseless, stick a bag over their head, basically, and throw them into slavery, into the Royal Navy.
It's so funny and ironic that Britain was the first Western civilization to outlaw slavery.
And
they still used it through conscription of the military. They were still doing it when that happened. That a majority of your crew on ships in particular were enslaved into that job. But nobody wants to talk.
We're going to enslave you so you can help us end slavery.
Right? We're going to enslave you
right.
so you can help us.
The irony should not be lost on you in that. Yeah. Absolutely. Keel hauling. And my God, if you've ever seen, what keel hauling is and some of the punishment on ships, wasn't just being hanged, hung up by a rope. That's being dragged to let the ocean chop you up and your living chum.
I thought keel hauling was when they tied a rope around your arms and your legs and spun you around the entire ship.
That's part of it. Yeah. And it's fucking awful. It's torture. Yeah. No, it's absolutely torture. They did whipping. They whipped crew.
Whipped people. Yeah.
In fact, as I recall, isn't Mr. Christian ordered to whip somebody in, I don't know if it's in the original film with Clark Gable and Charles Lawton, but I think it's in the Anthony Hopkins Mel Gibson one, which I consider the better film, historically, more accurate. And Liam Neeson's in it too, as I recall. It's another Liam Neeson film.
It's in the Cheech and Chong skit from one of their albums. Oh, rip the shirt. How cliche.
By the way, one of my favorite Cheech and Chong skits was the what are they called? The planes that crashed into ships used during World War II.
Kamikazes.
Kamikazes. The kamikaze pilots, will fly our planes into enemy ships. Now, before we have our ceremonial sake, are there any questions? Yes, you in the back. Are you fucking crazy?
Gerry, you know it's coming.
Oh,
that skit, man. That skit is. I fucking love that
if
album,
you people,
dude.
and look, if you've seen Cheech and Chong movies, they're okay. Go get their albums and listen to them. There is nothing funnier than them on a record.
We did it in the U.S. Navy too, by the way, during that time.
We did.
You'll hear stories of guys going into bars suddenly waking up in the Navy. It's like U.S. followed suit. We did it too.
Yeah.
Hey, boss,
you have enough
2 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, Che. British with Shanghai. Yeah, absolutely, Che. Absolutely. Read by nature, there was supposedly some odd custom about sneaking a coin into someone's drink. Then when they wanted to conscript someone, I wouldn't be surprised because these guys were in league with the bartenders, and the bartender is the one that would slip the Mickey to him and knock him out that way. But if it didn't completely knock him out, they would sap him. They'd hit him with a sap to knock him out the rest of the way, and then they would drag their asses up onto a ship, and they'd wake up the next day out on the ocean. You ain't going
They
nowhere.
sent naval press gangs to the colonies. I don't know that.
And that's both the British Navy and the United States Navy.
We need to wrap.
Alrighty.
Is that why it's called draft?
I don't think so, but no, I'm pretty sure that's not why. Yeah, no. But yeah, that's the end of the show. I got to get to the private chat here, and oh my God, I'm using my screen because I can't use my right arm. I want to thank Penny for being here, Scribe Light, Alex Moore, Dragon Ruse, Monkey Jeebus, Christian Delorme, Boosh McFadden, Fish Belly, Cavatino, Calverman Shea, John Ostains, Darius Munchausen, Glenn Fleming, James Ritter, Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips, Read by Nature, Dork Knight, The Comic Relief Crusader, and of course, Joe's here, so I'm not going to read his name. And I want to thank the panel for being here. Joe, thanks for showing up late.
Sorry, man.
Anima, Daswolfen, Martin. Of course, we thank Bill in the back, who's producing the show. And with that, guys, Chief is tomorrow, man. What is he talking about tomorrow? I forgot.
Training day.
Training day.
Whoa, that'll be good to watch.
So everybody join him tomorrow. See you later.
See ya.
Those sons of bitches.
Ma, I'm doing a show.